Alright, guys, this is Skyrim Wives, and this is about Helga and Helga's bunkhouse, okay? So, let's talk about her for a second, okay? And maybe I need to lower the volume on my TV set here because it's interrupting my thought process here. So, anyway, Helga at Helga's bunkhouse, right? When we bump across her, she runs the bunkhouse, which is for the working man. And notice she says man, right? Now here's the thing. She there's a quest with her where you go around collecting the Bella's marks, right? So what she does is she marks her victims so that they can't go out and she interferes with their lives, right? Okay, all right. So she's into Debilla, which is the worship of this goddess, which is a lust goddess of nothing but sex and debauchery. Okay, she has a gold statue of it. So let's actually go in here. Okay, she also wants her niece to get laid, and no, I'm not making that up. I mean that seriously, literally. She wants her niece to just get it over with because her niece is in this thing where she's in love with this one guy and she's like, look, he just wants to do you, so why don't you just do it and get it over with. So this chick is heavy BDSM. This is a hardcore chick who's into every raunchy thing that you can think of. Now how do we know this? Well, she's got on the desk there, if I can get there without getting caught for stealing, um, there is until next time, as there is a letter. Now, if we open this up, it really gets explicit. I'm not going to mention it here, but they're talking about last night and how wonderful it was and how great and how they're looking forward to the next time. Yeah, look at this letter, right? Okay. And it goes, your secret lover, that she's an expert at this kind of stuff, right? Okay. Like, wow. Like, this letter is actually, for Skyrim, this is way over the top, right? It's sitting right there. You can pick it up. It's not stealing at all. You can pick it up and read it, and you can see for yourself what the letter's all about. I don't want to take up too much of your time about this because this is a really interesting character. This is going to be one of the few characters in Skyrim that's actually got some real good backstory to her. Now, when we approach the Debilla, if we activate it, okay, let's see what it does. Active effects. I do believe it fortifies. Okay, speechcraft. Okay. All right. So this makes her a succubus because everything to do with speech is what a succubus does, right? They're a siren. Okay, she's a succubus. She's literally draining the life force of the men or anybody else that she beds because when you go to collect the marks of the Billa, she's into people that are married. She'll do anybody. She'll have sex with anyone, right? All to worship the goddess of the Billa. Now, this whole thing, she has, it gives you plus 10 in speechcraft, okay? This means that she's a siren. She's a lure. She's a succubus demon, literally, okay? Now, let's explore a little bit more further her bedroom. We find that there's money lying around. We find Fulmer blood mixers. We find mead for people to get drunk. We find a lusty Argonian kicking around. We find food. When we bend down, we find a bunch of money lying around. We find the Billa statue itself, too, on top of it. And then on top of it, too, I mentioned this before, we got leather strips down below the bed, and we also got horker tusks and that kind of stuff, right? There's also scattered around the bedroom here stamina potions, which I find rather interesting, as well as, one of those boxes there to unlock, right? And there's a bunch, there's even a potion of vigor, okay? So what the heck is going on here? Enhanced stamina. Like, there's nothing but stamina stuff, right? Now, as we explore the bed, let's jump onto the bed here and let's explore the bed here for a second. There's usable clasps. If you actually go over the clasp there, there's shackles, you can actually click the buttons and they move in and out. They actually close. They're actually functional, okay? So what she does is she gets a person drunk because there's like, wine kicking around and farmer blood elixir, which is really potent stuff, right? Some mead kicking around, Nord mead, that's really powerful stuff. And there's actually a tankard right there too as well, right? Just on the nightstand alone, okay? As well as different various stuff for nothing but stamina potions. Now, what's interesting is that what's she going to do with those leather strips? Well, as we explore the bed, she's got at the foot of the bed, which faces the Bella statue, a place where you can actually tie someone's legs up and actually tie them to the bed. So this chick is heavy into this stuff. Now, she's also got some honey kicking around, lavender, obviously, like, for some sort of incense or something like that, right? As well as the mountain flower. Plus, when you explore the bunkhouse, there's a place there where there's actually a big gold statue of it, right? Okay. She's also got a business ledger as well as Nord mead lying around. So what she does is she gets people drunk into a stupor, okay? She shackles them up, ties up their legs, and literally fucks them to death. I mean, this is a hardcore succubus, okay? And then if they survive the night, because she's got all these stamina potions to keep it erect, if you know what I'm saying, okay? Yeah, you heard about the funny blue pill? Guess what? She invented the blue pill before the blue pill was even a thing. This chick is so horny and just wants to drain everybody of their life force, and she doesn't have any regard for anyone. Look at her niece, right? What does she say to her niece? Go hook up with Shadal, the one that works at the horse ranch there, just outside of Riften, okay, just to the left, when you exit Riften. And, he's got problems with Gelka, I think it's Gelka, who is the one that's like, trying to, works at the Thieves Guild, who is trying to run a scam on him. And then you end up trying to break that up. Okay, so then you find out about him and what he's all about. He seems like a good-hearted person. But here's the problem. The niece seems to be good-hearted too, but she wants to come in and just ruin everybody's lives. That's literally what a succubus does. She gets involved with Boyle, who's married, okay, and marks him with the mark of Dabilla. Every single person she sleeps with, she has sex with, okay, she marks them and gives them the mark. She gives them the most incredible sex that they could have. That's exactly what a succubus does, okay? This is top tier BDSM, hardcore, raunchy. If you're down with that, she doesn't care if you're an Argonian. She doesn't care if you're a Khajiit. She doesn't care what sex you are. She will do you. She will shackle you up. And if you're lucky enough to survive the night, which most people don't, most people die when they have sex with her because she's a succubus, then she marks them. And they're hers forever. And if they try to do anything against her, she can literally destroy their marriages. She can destroy their lives. Guys, this is dark. Now let's understand what the bunkhouse is all about. I did a video about that. I'm just going to do a light recap about the bunkhouse, right? Is that it's a prostitution ring. And she's the pimp. So she's running a prostitution ring, okay, pimping out her niece to Shadra, or however you pronounce his name, but you know the guy I'm talking about, okay? Well, everybody shacks up upstairs in her bunkhouse to worship the Billa, okay? All right? Now, because this is the kind of video game it is, they're not going to show you this kind of stuff, but we can tell by the letters that mark the people when we go to Boyle and we look at the letter that she gives him, when we look at the letter on the countertop, when we look at her bedroom and we study it, we find the Lusty Argonian, which is a really raunchy story, by the way, okay? We find out how degrading this woman really is. She invented BDSM before we even thought about it, man. This chick is bonkers, okay? She is literally a succubus. She will literally drain the life force out of you. If you're down with that, you must be something really desperate. because she will mark you with the Dobella, with the mark of Dobella, and claim you as hers. That's what she does, right? That's what a mark does, right? It's ownership. She owns you. And therefore, you're not living your life for you. You're living your life for her, in service of her and whatever she wants you to do. Because if you go against her, she'll take that mark and use it against you and reveal you to you in Riften what she really is all about. So, that in a nutshell is pretty much all I have to say. Do your research about the Bella, find out how bad the Bella really is, and maybe I'll do a video about that sometime, But I'm trying to do these as shorts, so they're like 15, 20 minutes kind of thing, right? However long they need to be. Because if I do a full video on, Skyrim wise, it'll take hours. You know what I mean, right? So this way I break it down. You can watch it in bits and pieces. You can pick the ones you want to hear about and do that. I'm saving Serana and Lydia for last because I know you guys are simping over that and gooning over that, and you guys are just waiting for that, right? Okay, Serana and Lydia, I'm gonna hold off on that. We'll say the top tier ones for last. Yeah, they're top tier. All right. So this is a skanky hole. This is right down at the bottom of the list. I was thinking about going A, B, C, D, E, F, G. You know what I mean? And with A being top tier, like or S, being top tier kind of thing. And maybe we'll think about that in the future. But as it stands, this is right down there with Ysolda and the other one I did there, the one in Riverwood there, Camilla. These are all low tier women. And this has got to be like probably the worst, I would say, out of the bunch. Because this person is hardcore BDSM. Like, understand what she really is about. It's actually kind of creepy and really, when you really think about it. She's running a prostitution ring, trying to pimp off her niece to just get it done. Okay, and if you watch my video on the bunkhouse, you'll hear in the background them talking about the relationship with Soda and that sort of thing, right? And now she just wants her to get it over with, her niece and that, so that she can get laid and stuff like that. Then she's dragging her into her mess so that she can worship the Billa. Because the Billa is all about having sex. Like, hardcore raunchy. We got Horker Tuss, what is she doing with this stuff? I don't want to know. She's got leather straps, obviously, to tie up her victims. She's got ways of getting them drunk. Okay, all right. And high and stuff like that. And then she keeps them there for as long as she wants to. She's got the stamina potions to keep you going. So that even when you're exhausted and you can't go no more, she still goes because she's on top and you're on the bottom and you're cooked. Like, she's got you, So she literally fucks you to death. And if you think that's a lot of fun, hey, I'm not judging, okay? Jesus does the judging. I don't. But I'm just saying, to me, this is like bottom tier. This is like the most disgusting, degrading chick in all of Skyrim. Like, this is the worst of Skyrim, okay? So far, the 3 or 4 that we have covered so far for Skyrim-wise have all been skanky hoes. Is there anybody redeemable in this, in Skyrim? And when you look at all the women in Riften, which will do Haelga and that too, all right, okay? We're doing people that are marryable and not marryable, okay? We're putting them all in there as wives, like this is the bottom line. You guys with mods can do whatever the frig you want to. I can't, I'm on Xbox. Well, technically I could, to the point that Xbox will allow it. But the point is that this is not someone you want to marry, okay? You're Dragonborn. What are you doing going with a low-tier woman? Okay, she wants to drain you of your man juice. She wants to drain you of your life force. Because just as you use the power to suck out the dragon's soul, she uses her powers to suck your soul and the dragon souls out of you. She becomes literally Superwoman, okay? Like, she becomes super succubus. She's not just a succubus, she becomes super succubus. So she can take over hell and rule over Lucifer. That's her goal here, okay? Her goal is to drain everybody, man. But what better if she can get her hooks into the Dragonborn, who happens to be able, by the way, is an incubus. We should do one on the Dragonborn. We gotta do one on the Dragonborn because he's an incubus, man. He sucks the soul out of friggin' dragons, okay? Alright. She becomes mega powerful. Like, how much more powerful can you be if you can suck the soul out of the Dragonborn? Because that's what she's doing. She will tie you up, tie you down, fuck you to death, and suck the soul right out of you and all the dragon souls that you sucked. Think about that for a second. Just think about that, okay? You go around as Dragonborn, okay? You kill the Ebony Warrior, okay? The most powerful character in the game. You got nothing left to do. What does Haelga do? Come here, honey. We need to talk. Now that you sucked all those souls out, let me show you what I'm all about. She gets you drunk. She gets you high. She gets you stoned. Lays you down on the bed. Clamps you. And then ties you to the bedpost. So you can't move. Then she's got all these enhancers, including foam of blood. Like, seriously? Seriously? And all these wicked stamina potions. Exactly. What is this chick up to? Holy Hannah. Alright? So, be on guard with her. It's obvious she'll give you the best sex because when you go talking to Boyle and all these other people, they boast about how good she is. That letter on the counter that I just read, you know, that I touched on lightly, so you can read it yourself, is raunchy. And I cover all this, by the way, in the the Haelga's bunkhouse, okay? Watch that video if you want to know about the whole bunkhouse, right? So she drains all these people's souls. Like, think about it for a second, right? She's running a prostitution ring upstairs, right? So she's living off the life force, off the sexual energy that's being produced upstairs. That's what a succubus does. Drains people of their vitality by having sex with them. But then, you know, she's got them doing it upstairs. And then she drains that too. She feeds off of that, right? She feeds off of this sexual aura. So this is a really dangerous woman. I don't think people realize how dark this character really is. So that's everything I have to say about Haelga. So thank you for watching, guys. God bless, and we'll see you in the next one. Love to hear your thoughts and opinion on this one. Skyrim-wise, we're getting into some really dark stuff here, guys. I don't know if it gets any darker than this. But then we got Serena to deal with. Oh, that's going to be interesting. Or, you know what? We got Lydia to deal with. Oh, I'm sworn to carry your burdens. Yeah, I got a big burden between my legs. Hello, can you open up and let me in? Oh, we're going to have fun with Lydia. All right, take care, guys. God bless. I got to do 50 Hail Marys after that. I got to take a shower.